All right. Hello, everyone. Let's get her going. Actually, I'll go to this scene because I don't have the game open. Hello. Welcome. How are people doing? Hello, Toaster. Zero. Ultimate Fails. Waffle. How's it going? I assume Mathos still isn't back. Yeah, I believe he's still on vacation. I don't know how long that's going to last. But he's doing something. He's up to something. I've just been watching Darian's Kingdom Hearts playthrough. Or marathon, I should specify, because it's not really like a full playthrough. It's just more of like they're trying to go as far as they can. You read this, I'm now your male wife. Oh, good. Go ahead and vacuum for me if you would. What did I miss? Not much. Not much at all. Game, unplug my controller. Well, I still remember that. Worked 45 minutes late. I look forward to cutting whatever overtime I ended up with because capitalism is a hellscape. Yeah. That's how it goes. Alright. This has to go this way. I feel like this is somewhat loose. Looser than it normally is. I'm sure it's fine. An 11-hour shift today. Don't do that if you can avoid it. If you can't avoid it, then that sucks. Okay, Pokemon Go had a Litwick spawning in the wild for an event, but I think that ended a couple days ago. Did not catch a Litwick as I was not willing to drive to a Chuck E. Cheese in the middle of the night. That's fair, because I'm pretty sure that's the plot of Five Nights at Freddy's. So that's probably a good idea to try to stray from that as much as possible. This is an okay place for things, right? Oh no, I wanted it on the left, that's right. There. Should be fine. I also live a block away from a Chuck E. Cheese now, so that's terrifying. Yeah, I mean, I've never been to a Chuck E. Cheese because I don't think we really had them in Canada. But conceptually, they are concerning, and visually, they are horrifying. So I don't like them. Not a big fan. Doing Calgary. Oh, really? Maybe they might have one in Edmonton I just don't know about, or did when I was a kid. Fuck, maybe I even went to one at some point. I don't remember. I don't remember much of my childhood. 22nd of February, 1:11 p.m. Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. Went there a lot as a kid. I've had multiple birthdays there. Yeah, I was never... I think I might have a memory of like going to a similar place once. But I don't think I was ever went to like Chuck E. Cheese as a kid much. Not that I remember. Why can you not see my house? Oh, it's because I was clicked off the screen. That's why. I recall to having been to one maybe once. Yeah, that's the same as me, Toaster. I think I've only ever been there one time. Most of them closed down from what I know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Ooh, we made it back in one piece. Just. To be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while.
Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There's so many carriages on the streets of London. We were very nearly flattened several times.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that. But yes.
Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruto-san. It really was. I was in awe of you.
Oh, thank you.
And now that your fervent exploits have won us some more precious investigation time, let's see if we can't find some new clues for court tomorrow.
Yes, let's do that.
Is everything all right?
I suppose I still can't quite believe it, that's all. That I'm here in England working as a lawyer, I mean, in the Old Bailey, no less.
Is there, like, like a carbon monoxide leak in here? What are you talking about?
The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him standing in my shoes. It should be Kazuma.
It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you follow him to Great Britain and work alongside him.
Yes, I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him.
And you're doing wonderfully, Naruto-san. I've no doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same if he were here with us.
Thank you, Susato-san. Thank you. Alright, second here. Oh, that's right, I can't change the audio from inside the game. I can only turn it on or off, because this was a mobile game. Har, 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 har. I want to turn this down slightly. There we go. Maybe it's just the song is particularly loud, but... A lot of my birthdays there as a young child. Yeah, most of my birthdays I just had at my house. But I see the appeal as a whippersnapper. As an adult, I don't. But as a kid, I get it. I know mobile games that have volume controls, yeah, but this is not one of them. And I think I know of mobile games that don't. That was like kind of an old thing. For like older mobile games, when they first started coming out, they didn't have volume controls. They just expected for you to use the volume slider. So it's like kind of outdated. Most of them have volume controls now. At least the ones I'm familiar with. For all gacha games. Oh, do we have to go and say hi to Sholmes? I guess we'll go down the list, because I don't know where to go. 22nd of February. Holmes is sweet.
Oh, Runo and Susie. Hooray, you're back.
Honkai Impact was like one of the first mobile games out and had volume control? Was it one of the first? Really? How old is Honkai Impact? Pharaoh's broken day one. Alright, that's... 6 years? That's not even close to one of the first mobile games. Are you kidding me? Mobile games have been coming out since like the mid-2000s. Like when did like Jetpack Joyride come out? And like Plants vs Zombies. Plants vs Zombies is probably the better of the two. Plants vs Zombies. Check the wiki page. Flappy Bird 2013, Jetpack 2011. Okay, so they're a little bit later than I thought. I thought it was like mid-2000s, but now that I think about it, that was probably wrong. So like late 2000s, early 2010s. Officially released 2009. And 2013 came out on iOS and Android, yeah. I didn't have a smartphone proper until like 2016. Yeah, that's fair. I think I got my smartphone, my first iPhone in 2014. Like my last year of high school. But I had an iPod before that for like years, so that's how I know.
Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see. I am, and you look as immaculately presented as ever, Susie. Oh, you flatter me. Well, you couldn't have come at a better time. I've just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups.
Really? Thanks, Iris. But actually... I had an iPod too, but it was exclusively for music. Yeah. I used mine for music when I first got it, and then I started getting into like the App Store and stuff like that. What is that foul smell?
I shit myself. Aha! The Wanderers return at last. Where on earth have the pair of you been?
We've been in court. I plan to never buy an Apple product again. Trash. I'm 100% with you, Toaster. I will never buy any Apple product. I had an iPod and an iPhone, and I liked the iPod and the iPhone, and then I slowly watched them fuck me over with updates over the course of me having my iPhone, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm never getting another one. Yeah, at the time, memory constraints were a problem. But I had a bunch of ones. I remember like Pocket God, Jetpack Joyride, Fruit Ninja, all the classics.
Oh, for Mr. Mustache's case, that was today, was it? I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Shelms.
Ever heard of Goddess? I have not. I don't know what he said because it went by too fast. I was looking at chat.
Well, we can laugh about it now. So tell me, how did the trial go?
Reasonably well so far. We've managed to escape without a guilty verdict, at least.
Really, I would have liked to see it. I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long.
Is Lord Van Zeek's an acquaintance, Mr. Shelms?
Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Naruhodo.
Not quite what I asked, but still. Have an iPad for school. The iPad's not bad. Of the Apple products I've used, the iPad's probably like the most user-friendly. Goddess was a game that had so much potential, was such an enjoyable experience, but the devs stopped supporting before it was even done. They still make games, disappointingly. There's another one where a lot of promises were made that weren't kept. Classic. Does anybody remember Infinity Blade? I played the shit out of that series. I played all three of them, and they were super fun. Yeah, Android pads suck ass. The touchpad market has not really been fully realized yet. There's a Peter Molyneux name. Oh yeah. Or game. Yeah, I know who that is. For sure.
Mr. Shelms, whatever is that odor?
Yes, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful.
It's the shit in my pants, I told you. Ah, indeed, that's the scent of victory, my dear fellows. Victory in science. Oh dear.
Alright, I'll bite. What's he up to now? Is this like the chemical they're using to find the poison, maybe? That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to converse. Nope, I hit the button again. Come on. Nope. I'm all over the place. I can't. Why can I not? Oh, I have to hit the other button. I'm an idiot. Played one of the Infinity Blade games, I think. Forgotten which game it was. Remember playing a rather enjoyable game with split pass, but it was sort of an on-rails Dark Souls game. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it, was like on-rails Dark Souls. It was fun. And like I thought the art style and like the story was really interesting. They did a lot of like really cool stuff. For like a mobile game, I was shocked how invested I was. Speaking of faint but terrible smells, there's a regular customer at my work that reeks of piss. Why? How does that happen? Like, what the fuck? Has nobody said anything? Somebody should say something.
Lord Barak von Zeeks. Yes, it's an interesting sobriquet he has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. He also shits his pants on the regular. Once the legendary prosecutor has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even if he or she isn't found not guilty by the courts, sooner or later the hapless soul will vanish from the capital.
Seem to recall an amount of goofy bullshit. I think so. I think there was like a couple joke items and stuff. Yeah, I guess as an employee, you're not allowed to say anything. That's fair. That's a good point. But vanish how exactly?
By falling under a passing carriage or drowning in the Thames, or succumbing to a sudden fever, or quite out of the blue, being set upon by a highwayman. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow.
It all seems a little far-fetched, really.
Well, on the bright side, Mr. Mustache is fighting fit. For the time being, at least.
That's not overly reassuring.
I'm gonna poke my eye out. Watch where you're pointing that thing. If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion... would surely be that those acquitted are, well, by Lord Van Zeek's own hand. As it happens, Miss Susato, that is quite impossible. Oh, why? Naturally, the man very quickly came under such suspicion. However, whenever these incidents occurred, the Reaper always had a cast-iron alibi.
Really?
And so his reign continued, but 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again. That is, until you arrived in the country, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, so I've heard. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into that trial at the Old Bailey. That bitter fight to the death coincided with the Reaper's resurrection. Really did end bitterly indeed.
And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again. Poor Runo, I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky. Or incredibly unlikable.
I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing of all Japanese people.
Alright, he's racist. I forgot about that.
Alright, Sholmes, did you shit yourself? So what is that indescribably foul smell?
Ah, well, most probably this, I would say.
What is that?
My dear fellow, it is, of course, my latest invention. A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is genuine at the drop of some tea. Oh, my. There are some unscrupulous sorts manning the stalls along some of London's less frequented streets. They regularly sell what purports to be high-quality tea, but is in fact merely dyed leaves of drab flavor.
Well, that's certainly unsavory behavior.
So, when one is presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful. Iris! At the ready, Hurley. Let us add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do see what happens?
It's turned completely black.
And what a foul odor it's giving off. Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes and the more foul the odor, the better the tea is. Presumably, we have kind of fucked it up. But hard to tell. It would appear that this cup was a particularly fine Darjeeling.
That's very ingenious. But what do you do with that black liquid now? Liquid.
Why dispose of it, naturally? Surely you wouldn't like to drink it, would you? There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes. Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madam.
Right.
The point is, we are entering a new era of science. In the world of criminal investigation also. Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are such exciting times.
Oh, what's her name in fucking Apollo Justice? The girl who's like all about forensic science. She's like the gumshoe of that game. Oh, what's her name? I know what her sprite looks like. I can't remember her fucking name. Damn it. Found a game by complete accident that I'm now more excited for than anything in the world. The first picture on Steam is the cat that you play as holding a slice of bread that's at least as large as the cat. Alright. Interesting. Trucy, thank you. No, that's the magician girl from Dual Destinies and Apollo Justice. It's the girl in the white lab coat. The detective girl. Trucy Wright is the magician girl. Phoenix Wright's adopted daughter. Fuck me, I can't remember her name. Emma. I think that's correct. I don't remember her full name. Emma Skye. That's what it is. I remembered. I had to think back to the bonus case in Ace Attorney 1. That took me longer than it should have.
I regularly engage in this scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting detective work. The Sherlock Holmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative technique is based.
I googled Apollo Justice Girl and it got me there. Fair enough.
This little tea indicant was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research.
Forensic science? I suppose I should find out more about that. Alright. Talk about that first, I guess. So, your T-test, is that an example of forensic science?
Indeed it is. An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality.
Not a huge number of cases, then.
Perhaps a more practical example is required. Fingerprints? Not yet accepted in our courts as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels there.
I hadn't even heard of them until recently.
Which is partly why I undertake research in this field myself, of course.
Does that mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes?
There are others in that field already, and I abhor the company of inferior minds. No, what I'm researching is skin prints.
Skin prints?
A nomenclature of my own design, as is this chemical agent that makes it possible. It instantly reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation.
Brilliant, Mr. Sholmes.
As long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black.
I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed.
Alright. So he's got, like, DNA testing as a touch? That's pretty advanced. Yeah, that's some sci-fi bullshit for sure. With Mr. Natsume, who I'm currently defending, being Japanese as well as Mr. Sato and myself, I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Van Ziek seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese.
Indeed. It is an interesting observation.
Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes? Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Sholmes, calling Mr. Sholmes. That song's not invented yet.
It was about 10 years ago that Barak Van Zieks chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion hailed from the Empire of Japan.
No!
What the? Tell us more, Mr. Sholmes. What happened?
I believe I've made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair.
Oh, but...
The veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course, I have no doubt. For now, however, it is Mr. Mustache who is most deserving of your attention, I believe.
Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can uncover any new clues.
That's the spirit, Bruno. See you later.
Yes, until later.
Oh no, Mr. Sholmes, we were thinking you'd come with us.
You were?
Yes, of course. You said so just a moment ago. You said we'd witness your forensic talents in action.
Ah, yes, I do recall saying something along those lines.
Hello, Lapera. How's it going? Welcome in.
But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later, in all likelihood. Probably. Maybe. Well, I might.
Your commitment astounds me.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. We'll eagerly await your arrival. Bye-bye, Bruno. Bye, Susie.
Alright. I guess we'll keep going. "22nd of February, Mr. Natsume's lodgings, ground floor." Oh, Christ. Oh, hello again, Inspector Gregson. What are you doing here? Well, we were hoping to have another look around, actually.
The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware.
Yeah, I know the score. Oh, yes, one other thing. The soap in the ledge outside the window. Did you find it? With the tea in it? Yeah, we found it all right, and there was a small amount of tea in it, as you said. I knew it. It's with the identification section at the yard now. They're looking into it. The results should be available later today.
That's wonderful news. Thank you.
Pretty impressive performance in court this morning. Sorry? Nothing. Forget it. Just make sure you don't disturb anything in here. Oh, there he is. Fucking blinked into existence. Okay, we have already seen that. I guess we'll talk to fucking Sholmes? Mr. Sholmes, what are you up to over there?
What a question indeed. Was it not your good self who asked me to attend the scene?
Oi! What are you doing here, Sholmes?
What are you up to over there? What are you doing here? Dear me, once a great detective, one is always under scrutiny, it seems.
Is now the time, Mr. Sholmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talents and actions as you promised?
No. I mean, with the greatest of pleasure, my dear madam.
So... Oh, alright. What's all this?
All this is precisely what you requested, Monsieur Naruhodo. And this gun. Herlock Sholmes' sensational skin print Seeker gun. Moments ago, I took a sample from the teacup that was used by the victim.
A sample? From Mr. Shakespeare's cup? I love how you can clearly see his fingers clipping into the gun. Like, look at his one finger over here. It's fully into the gun. Nice.
Each individual leaves microscopic secretions on everything he or she touches. A sample of those secretions is all I need to produce this, a refined indicator solution. By liberally spraying this room with the chemical, everything the victim touched is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles. Here, try them on.
Ooh, it's blue. It's for coming to my TED Talk.
There, now spray the chemical indicator about and all will be revealed.
Spray? How do I do that exactly?
A little press of space on the area you're interested in is all that's required. Like this.
Ah, what is that stuff? It's like fog.
Suspension of the chemical indicators in a pressurized gas. It's the most efficient way to cover a large area. That was another invention I discovered incidentally whilst I was developing this idea.
As you do.
Go ahead, try it, my dear fellow. We may learn something interesting about the victim's movements on the night in question.
Well, there's nothing to lose, I suppose. Let's explore. Alright. Anything there? No. Probably on the teacup. Yep. Oh, on this box as well. Hmm. Oh, and a lot on this painting. Look, there are dozens of handprints here.
So there are, a great many indeed. So much so that it's hard to make out one individual print, in fact.
It sends a chill down my spine.
Perhaps he was leaning against the wall while he admired this picture.
Unlikely, I would say. It's a rather dull scene, after all.
And without wishing to state the obvious, you wouldn't generally admire a picture from such close quarters, I feel.
Oh, very true, Mr. Sato. It's a bit of a mystery then. Alright, so we're gonna have to take that off the wall for sure. Anything over here? He's never touched that kettle. Not a single time. Okay, a lot over there. That makes sense. Got a couple on there. Bunch on that. Oh, I can just double click. I don't have to use space. Oh, I can go fucking crazy with this. That's fun. Okay.
Would you relax with that, Mr. Naruhodo?
I'm just having too much fun. Isn't this where Gregson is standing? Alright, I don't think I can leave? Yeah, so I must be missing stuff. Okay. Oh, he does have fingerprints on that. Okay. Oh, they didn't show up when I was messing with that. What am I missing here? Yeah, I can't exit this, so there's clearly something I'm missing. What do I not sprayed? Oh yeah, it's straight up the same gimmick from Apollo Justice, 100%. It's the luminol test all over again. They've had this in several games now. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at all this here.
Ah, yes, interesting. A multitude of the victim's handprints.
Why are there so many of them on the floor in this one spot?
Oh, perhaps he had a bad fall just here.
There's nothing obvious that he would have tripped over, though, is there?
I wonder. Personally, I often stumble when there's nothing obvious to trip over.
I think that's something only a great detective would do, Mr. Shelms.
Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints all over the floor.
Yes, there's no obvious explanation. Literally a pulled up board right there. What the fuck are you talking about? It's a different color. Well, we sprayed Mr. Sholmes' amazing skin print indicator all over this room, didn't we?
We did, but there are 2 places in particular that are of interest, I would say.
The handprints on the floor there. And on the wall by the picture, you mean?
Yes, and I think the floor warrants closer investigation. I won't be a moment. Ah!
What is it, Mr. Sato?
I scared myself. Look here, Mr. Naruto. One of the floorboards has popped out.
One of the... You mean... It's a secret hiding place?
Excellent work, Mr. Sato. So, what do we have in here?
Oi! What are you lot doing? Inspector Gregson, stand aside right this minute. It's my job to investigate there.
No need, Inspector. You need to continue to dig into your potion of chips, lest we dig around to the floor here.
Your fancy talks put me up my food anyway, Sholmes. A no bit of evidence is exactly what I need. I hope it's a fucking shotgun trap and just blows a hole through Gregson's chest. Wow, a secret hiding place under the floor. What a find!
It's not a hiding place you could make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw to Tommy Matt.
No, I know, but I never expected one of these wooden floorboards to move either. Got me wondering about that wall over there, too. Aren't you curious?
Oh! I'll investigate it once. There's nothing behind the picture, sadly. Only the wall.
How disappointing.
But then, how do you explain the handprints?
I really can't think of why anyone would have been touching the wall over and over in one place like that.
Ah! My eyes.
There you are, a print for you.
Is it to get at the lamp? He's like getting up on the wall and like standing in the box to light the lamp? Would he even need to do that? He's pretty tall. Oh, thank you very much. His invention can make prints, too. Now then, I wonder if Inspector Gregson has found anything under the floor there.
I'm desperate to know.
So am I!
Care to share with the class? I'll let him know if there's anything hidden underneath that floorboard there.
Allow me to ask Gregson now. After all, we're well acquainted. Inspector Gregson, really, it's been too long.
What is it, Sholmes?
I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there. Seeing as we're such good friends.
We're not friends.
No, I suppose not. A dismal failure. I've been not even friend-zoned, I've been acquaintance-zoned.
Yes, I heard. I'd kill to know what was under that floorboard. Alright then, fair's fair. What? You did discover the hiding place after all. I suppose I should at least fill you in. Really, Inspector? Thank you. There's a non-zero chance to get Foundry either this week or next week. Ooh, hell yeah.
Do it quickly, my dear fellow. If there's one thing I know of this man, it's that he blows with the wind, as fickle as the weather.
Oi, stop making me out to be some kind of nut. There were 3 items under the floor there. A newspaper clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. Now, what do you want to know? This week, are you free Thursday or Friday before session to help me set up if I need help? I will be starting on Thursday. I will be gone. Starting that Friday, I'll be gone. So actually, yeah, I can help out on the Thursday. Friday, I'll be house sitting. So that session will be away from my computer, but I'll have my laptop with me. An absolute zero chance to get Foundry this week because I have no idea what that is. It's a virtual tabletop client. Used to play tabletop games, tabletop RPG games online. Let's talk about the clipping. Looks like this was cut out of the paper about 3 months ago. It's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester. How terrible. What's it made of? Code. Made the headlines down here in hot London as well. The bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got him first.
Oh my goodness! He'd committed a capital offense!
Man by the name of Sheldon. Nasty piece of work into burglaries and murder. They say the hoard he knocked off was worth about £1,000. A hoard? Of treasure, you mean? If I'm even getting it this week, though, I might be in the city until this Thursday afternoon, so I'm not sure. Fair enough. Jewelry and the like, but he'd hidden it somewhere and no one knows where. And now he's dead. The papers loved it, of course. £1,000 lost en route to hell, or some such was the headline.
Does it not strike you, though?
Like how easy Foundry was to use in the OMDI server? Oh yeah, it's very nice to use. I use it for my Star Wars game, and it's a fucking joy to use. The music, especially, like all the different controls you have for the music, is excellent.
Why such an article would be so carefully ensconced under the floor?
I suppose now you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll go over the paperwork we've got on Sheldon back at the yard and see if I can turn anything up. Yeah, exactly, Waffle. That's what I use it for. That's the reason I got it in the first place. It was because of the music. So, this is the photograph I found. Looks reasonably recent to me. Oh, it's Garadeb and the painter girl's brother? Or father? I think we've seen this guy before. I can't remember what relation he had to Miss Green.
Yes, but it appears to have been taken on the street in front of the house here.
And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Garadib, the landlord, of course.
But who's the young man on the right? Mr. Garadib's son, perhaps? Perhaps. You can take that print if you like. Really? Are you sure? I want it so I don't have to manually do NPC health on CompCon and Roll20. What do you mean by manually do the health? Oh, just be able to like right click and apply damage and stuff like that? I've recently started doing that and it is extremely easy. Yeah, I started doing that recently for my Star Wars game and it's so nice.
We can presume, therefore, that the Yard already knows. The identity of the young fellow, that is.
Ah, is that true? Huh. Well, it's too bad if we do. Unfortunately for you lot, leaking information isn't one of my pastimes. Gumshoe, you are not.
My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out. Pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work.
All the more reason I'm not telling you.
A dismal failure.
Yes, I heard. Okay. We'll have to talk to Miss Green about that, for sure. I wonder why a photograph like this was hidden under the floor. I mean, Mr. Shamspeare himself isn't in it.
Photographic prints are still rare treasures in the East End. I imagine Mr. Garadib was rather delighted to have been immortalized. He probably made a proud present of it.
Alright, a tin box. Now this tin box looks interesting, doesn't it?
Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it? If you were to find something inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be in the least surprised.
That is Shamspear? I don't think so. Shamspear is a very different facial structure. Shamspear's got like a butt chin. This guy's... he's got kind of a square chin, but... I don't think they look all that similar. I can actually look at people here. Oh, actually, you know, it's pretty close. The nose is pretty different, though. Yeah, the nose is completely off. And the eyebrows, so I don't think it's him. But it looks just like Olive Green, so I'm pretty sure that's something we have to talk to her about. Yeah, they literally said who Garradeb was. They straight up said that out loud. That's not a mystery. Oops. He wasn't paying attention. We were talking about Foundry. Yeah, funnily enough, I've already had a look. It's completely empty.
What? Shamspear, give us a clue, man.
You didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Mr. Naruhodo. But anyway, at least we found out what's inside the box.
Yes, thin air. It's empty, rather like how I feel inside. Rude. There's nothing more to this box, then? I wonder. Are we going to investigate it? Are we going to turn it over in our hands? Oh. Oh, it's, Saki's cat.
Oh look, it's that lovely little kitty cat. What was its name?
It's Mr. Natsume's, isn't it? I don't think we ever asked him, actually. Why don't we call it, Wagahai? You know, like Mr. Natsume refers to himself in Japanese. I wonder how we got in here. Clever cat. I also love him. There's all the love in the world for this cat. Our new favorite character.
Oh, wonderful. Well then, Wakahai, here's something delicious I bought for you. Bought for you from the Cat's Meat Man.
Oh. What's my favorite SpongeBob character? Yours is Plankton. Plankton is good. I think I like Squidward as an adult. I've had the fun song stuck in my head for days. Oh, yeah. F is for friends that do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anywhere, anywhere at all, down here in the deep blue sea. Oh yeah, the Plankton version of it. I remember that song and the Campfire song. The CAMPFIRESONG song. And that's the only line I remember.
He couldn't be happier now. Look.
I just hope he can bring some happiness to his owner, too. Yeah, the Campfire song.
Oh, look at him. He's doing the little eating the biscuits. Oh, I love him. I love him.
And if you think that we can't sing it faster, then you're wrong. Help if you just sing along. Yeah, that's right. That was a cheeky little meow, Wagahai. I like how they spell meow in this game.
Oh, but he's so adorable. I could sit and watch him forever.
I think he may not appreciate that after a while, and we have an investigation to get back to. Alright, that was worthwhile. Okay. Oh, we didn't get the tin box. Huh, okay. Let's try going somewhere else. Oops, I didn't mean to go here. Let's click on another place. 22nd of February, Briar Road. I wanted to go... Oh, I can't go... Oh, here it is. I want to talk to Miss Green, whose voice I don't remember. 22nd of February, St. Bartholomew's Hospital Recovery Ward.
You suppose it's happening? It sounds like some sort of disturbance.
Yes, I hear angry voices. Oh, good.
Why did it have to be you? Be not angry, O ample lady. Verily, thou art mistaken.
Mistaken my foot. You were looking at my painting.
The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. 'Twas foul indeed, the poison that mustache villain gaveth me. Forgive me, lady.
I wish that you died from that poison.
God of mercy, ample lady, but thou seest I have vigour still. Behold my Shakespeare dance.
This looks rather ominous, doesn't it?
Hello from Vancouver. Hello, Arsai. About to hop on ferry. I have no Audi. Give me a thumbs up. That's what you get. Hope you enjoy Vancouver. Let me know how it goes. Whoops, nope.
Lo, 'tis the lawyer from the land whence riseth the sun. How now?
What are you doing here, Mr. Shakespeare? How easy is it to add modules to Foundry? Super easy. All you have to do is once you open Foundry, there's literally a screen. You just go like add modules. You can put in the link to the module you want, and then we'll just download it automatically. Very easy. I know it was for you. You can let him know. I let you guys know that I wanted him to have fun in Vancouver. I'm talking to all of chat. You're all the voices in my head.
Mary, I do believe I am returned unto another ward.
He was looking, that's what he was doing, looking at my terrible work.
Eastern fellow, so dark ye clad. Faith, thy work in court this morning was wonderful. I do applaud thee.
Oh, well, thank you.
But that doesn't mean things will go so wonderfully for you for tomorrow, does it?
I hate that stupid smile he has.
Non exunt.
Actually, the party of mind that wants to experiment with gender and sexuality. I refuse to believe someone could exist in the capacity that Waffle does. I'm not sure Waffle exists at all. Not a frustrating thing about my new keyboard, by the way. I put my computer to sleep when I go to bed, and when I turn it back on, it doesn't keep my custom config set. I have to redo it. Oh, that sucks. Is there a software you have to download to get it to, like, properly set? 'Cause that's bullshit. Mr. Shakespeare might technically be the victim in this case. But there's definitely a lot more to it than that. Very hard to pin the man down.
I'm so sorry. I'm such an awful person.
Ah, Miss Green, is everything alright? Using the software, but it might be because I'm using a preset it doesn't like. Maybe.
Oh, yes. I mean, don't worry about me. They're about to discharge me, so I must get ready to leave now.
Oh, I see.
We're delighted that you'll soon be well enough to go home, Miss Green. Oh dear, you're too kind. I don't deserve it.
I would like to talk to her, actually, so I can present things to her. But using a different preset and I've had no such issue. Weird. So, are you feeling more like yourself today, Miss Green? There's an announcement for the GBF fighting game. Ooh, interesting.
I am, thank you. I mean, people do recover from ordeals like this, don't they? Even people like me.
Well, yes, it really was an ordeal, wasn't it?
As far as I was concerned, I was just walking along in the snow one evening, minding my own business. And then, completely out of the blue, I was struck in the back by a knife and collapsed unconscious for days.
Of course, when I finally woke up again yesterday, the whole business had been cleared up already.
What a terrible week it's been for you.
Oh no, I'm sure I'm very lucky, really. I look back on this fondly.
Really? Writing the hot murderous psychopath cat girl. That certainly paints a picture, doesn't it?
Anyway, I must be getting my things together now, so I'm ready to be discharged.
Oh yes, of course. Sorry to take up your time when you're obviously busy. Oh, I guess I can't talk to her. Okay. Let's go to prison? Yeah, I guess we'll talk to, actually, let's go talk to Garrett and present that photo to him. Probably not a bad idea. A completely shadowed face from the porn. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, yeah. The one that just has like a Cheshire cat grin and like a dark hooded face and with no other features. I didn't know she was from GBF. 22nd February, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's room.
Mr. Garrett appears to be out.
Fuck. Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. Oh, not her. Okay, then I have no idea what you're talking about. That's BlazBlue? That tracks. There's too many fighting games with bullshit anime characters. Yeah, it's all the same. Prison, I guess? What the fuck in the February? Local prison, settle down. Fuck. Alright. Shamespeare's room? Do I go back to Sholmes? We go back here? Oops. Oh, do I have to... I mean, typically we don't have to do this, but we didn't talk about Kazuma's wishes. Talk about that real quick. Kazuma Asogi, the best friend I ever had, and a lawyer with such promise. He really saved my bacon in that horrible incident just before we left Japan. I can still picture him now, looking so fierce and determined in court. And then after the trial, that crazy idea he came up with. As a stowaway? Yes, you can fit inside my trunk if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one will know. Kazuma, won't you tell me why? Why go to these lengths so that I can accompany you to Great Britain? Well, it's been on my mind ever since we got through that trial. That you really ought to go into law and be a defense lawyer. You've got a natural talent for it, and believe me, I guarantee it. But I've never even thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, I can't force you, obviously. You'll have to decide for yourself. But anyway, there's a breeze in here. It's kinda nice. London is the cultural capital of the world, the city at the forefront of everything. It can't hurt for you to see it with your own eyes. No, that's true. I suppose, though, if you were to become a lawyer, then one day... One day what? Oh, no. Never mind. Character legit killed at least 20 people, all her ex-boyfriends. Great. And the MC pretty much says, yeah, your backstory is sad, I'll be your friend and let you travel the skies with me. I've heard of worse anime plots.
Naruhodo-san.
Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about Kazuma.
Yes, he's forever in my thoughts, too. He changed the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. And that's why he so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course.
Yes, that's right, but
Yes?
I do wonder if his true intentions lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't know, the thought just takes hold of me every now and then, that's all. Aha.
Naruhodo-san, what do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions?
I mean this.
His katana?
I never expected to inherit this sword after Kazuma passed away, of course.
No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it.
When I have it at my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage.
Yes.
Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. Karuma? Yes, the nine-tailed fox from Naruto. That's right, it's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Rinosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. He was. Haruma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two. Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. Something you have to do. Yes. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. If Rinosuke inherited Kazuma's sword, does that mean they were married? Well, when he died, he inherited the sword. So he got the sword, which means they were married, but marriage is until death do you part. So he's in like a marriage paradox, where he is married and also not married.
What did he mean by something very important that I have to do?
I'd hoped that the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrived here, but as yet I have not found a single clue.
I see.
Okay. Yes, now he's available to marry Sholmes. Absolutely. Okay. I guess I'll talk about the stuff that's happened in the case. Normally you don't have to do this, but it was quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? And the victim himself turned up in court and took the stand. I'm writing the fanfic now.
I know.
Not only that, but then finding out that he is actually a barefaced gas thief as well.
Yes, that was certainly a surprise to us all. For a while, it seemed as though everyone had quite forgotten about Soseki-san poisoning the tea.
Careful of your phrasing, Susato-san. He didn't poison anything. And there's more to this Mr. Shamespeare than we yet know, I'm sure of it.
Mr. Shamspeare certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was at first.
What's become of him, actually?
I was told that he'd be returning to the hospital ward where he was receiving treatment.
Oh, which one is that?
Let me see. Ah yes, he's at St. Bartholomew's, or Bart's as Londoners call it.
We know that place, don't we?
Yes, we visited Miss Green there yesterday. It's the same hospital to which she was taken.
Ah, yes, after Soseki-san stabbed her in the back.
Do be careful of your phrasing, Naruhodo-san. You didn't stab anyone.
Perhaps we both owe Soseki-san an apology. St. Bartholomew's. Yes, we should probably visit the hospital later. Alright. So, we know that Soseki-san took tea to the victim on the night in question. But as he isn't the culprit, then obviously...
Yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea.
But if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get into Mr. Shamspeare's body?
I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mr. Shamspeare's room that will help solve the mystery.
Well, naturally, Scotland Yard detectives have been over the place already. But it couldn't hurt for us to have another look around, I think.
Definitely. And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea left over in the bar of soap.
Well, if we run into Inspector Gregson, we can ask him about that. Alright, I guess we'll go back to that room. Where else to go? Oops, that's not where I'm meant to go. Wrong room. So he's still here. We've investigated the cat. We've investigated Gregson. I cannot investigate the painting. What over here? Investigated that. We can investigate this, maybe. If you ran out of change, you wouldn't even have any light, let alone heat. For the needy, London's winters can be very harsh.
That's true, but if you think about it, even the wealthy would find themselves freezing if they ran out of small change.
London's winters can be very harsh for the forgetful, too, then. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Susato-san and I are going to make it to spring.
That's true. We don't even have a meter at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove.
Look how dark the stand on the floor is underneath the meter there.
Yes, from all the water dripping out after the ice coins melted, as you established in court this morning.
A very large and obvious stain, isn't it?
Mr. Shamspeare must have used an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose.
It was an ingenious idea, I'll give him that. Okay. About here. Sun never shines in this room thanks to that depressing bricked-up window.
Yet, with enough determination, you can always remove the bricks to set some soap outside, can't you?
That sounds like a very wise life lesson, Mr. Sato.
Only if you plan to follow a life of crime, Mr. Naruto.
Okay, cool. I guess we'll go somewhere else? Is there anything new here? And look at this. Yeah, I looked at that already. The Geradib's room. There's nothing in here. Looks all the same. What about prison? Ah, here we go. 22nd of February, local prison, all 9.
Oh, Mr. Natsume's back.
So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello. I am a cat. Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or Hairlock Sholmes. I don't know about courts or trials or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat.
Mr. Naruto, he's trying to escape from reality.
Trying to. He already has, completely. So, what is your name then? As yet, I have no name.
Mr. Naruto, he hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality.
You think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? I am not a cat.
It worked! He's back in the real world.
What's going to become of me? No! Don't answer that! It's obvious! My accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate!
Mr. Natsume, no! This morning's proceedings in court prove that there's hope!
Yes, locum student Mr. Naruto Esquire was brilliant, but... The Reaper is omnipresent in court and my lodgings! Here, there, everywhere! What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss. Oh, yes, we must. Alright. In my whole life have I ever been so moved as I was today? No! Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps 1 or 2 other occasions that moved me more. But if I just block those out, then today, being in that courtroom it was the most moving experience of my life, locum student Mr. Naruto Esquire! You're too kind.
Scotland Yard found the remaining tea, just as we deduced, and are analyzing it as we speak.
There's nothing wrong with that tea. They won't find a drop of poison in it. That's a solemn, sworn Soseki's certainty. Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies.
And at the time, you were both completely fine.
Did he end that on a dab? Yeah, kinda. As shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shamspeare then engaged in the Romeo and Juliet match. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim then. I think Soseki's not correct on that. Because we have that line of tea, that tea ring. Well, I think there's more to that he maybe is not telling us. That rotten Shamspear, what have I ever done to him? You don't recall him taking issue with you over everything you've done recently? Or anything you've done recently? I'd been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything. Anything at all. Right. But what I don't understand is why he didn't let me know sooner.
Let you know what, Mr. Natsume?
About the soap, of course. What else?
Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend?
Of course I am, if I had money. I wouldn't have chosen to live an accursed existence in such accursed lodgings. Oh yes, you said it's because the place is cursed that it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly, especially the room that I rent. The spirit of that capital offender who lived there still haunts the place, and it's trying to kill me. Capital offender? Might I ask locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire that next time you visit me, you bring scores of super soft soaps. Okay. I'm going to present some shit to you, and hopefully it gets me somewhere. How about this one? Why is there no tea ring in your cup, you shit stain? Mr. Natsume, it's nothing much, but... it's been too long since been offered a present with the delightfully humble etiquette of our homeland. What? You're too kind. I accept it gladly. Sorry, but I wasn't trying to give it to you, actually. Okay. What about the soap? Does this do anything? Aha!
Mr. Natsume, what do you know about this?
Ah, there it is! That lathery lowlife that took my neighbor's life and sent me sliding to the depths of despair! Slippery, sickly, psychotic saboteur! You've really gone off soap, haven't you? Absolutely, and I've made up my mind. The next time someone gives me soap as a present, it's... friendship finished firmly forever!
I don't know that we can blame soap for everything that's happened, Mr. Natsume.
Okay. What about this? Nope, nothing there. What about this treasure? Maybe handprints at the wall? Nope. Did I examine this? I don't think I did, actually. The young criminal dies of natural causes in prison. Manchester Strangeway Prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar assaulted by natural causes in the early hours of the morning. He'd been suffering with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. Okay, nothing crazy there. I think that really jumps out at me. Whoops, I meant to examine that. Nope, nothing here. Maybe there's another spot I can go. Let's see what Susato says if I try to move somewhere else. Nope, there's still more I need to do here, so I'm definitely have to present something to him. Let's try this. We'll just go on the list. Ah, here we go. What's this? It's a newspaper cutting that we found in Mr. Shamspear's room. Ah, so he knew, did he? Sorry? About this man, Selden. A convicted killer and the evil spirit behind the curse that afflicts my lodgings. Oh.
What?
He's already taken one young man's life, and now he's trying to take the life of another. A miserable, mustached, much maligned Japanese man. Mr. Natsume, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Tell us everything you can about this evil spirit. Here we go. The truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now. And at the time, he was hiding out in lodgings at Mr. Garrideb's house. What? He lived where you do now? That's right, yes, exactly where I live now, in my very room.
Oh my! Your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of a capital offense.
But before his sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started. The curse.
What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsume?
It's already caused one death a few months after the criminal passed away in prison. A man died in the room, the man who rented it after Selden, in fact. The poor lodger. He was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside. Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So that's the convict's curse, is it? Yes, well, that was the start of it. I'm still guessing gas leak. I don't think gas leak is off my mind yet.
You have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mr. Natsume?
The official cause of death was asphyxia. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas. Gas? This is literally what I'm talking about. I only found that out after I'd signed the lease. Mr. Garrideb came to tell me later I couldn't stop myself trembling. In fact, if I'd known beforehand, I'd probably have been too scared to take the room. Landlord's lease, luckily legal. Lucky for Mr. Garrideb, maybe, but not so lucky for the poor Mr. Natsume. And now you believe this curse is affecting you. It is. At first, I just felt as though I was being watched all the time. And you talked about having nightmares, didn't you? The dead are trying to take me with them. They come for me and try to suffocate me. Just when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up. And the room is as cold as ice.
But why is your room so cold?
London winters are too cold to bear without any heating overnight. But for some reason, even though I light the stove before I climb into bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas. It's literally carbon monoxide. There's no chimney. So the gas is burning, causes a carbon monoxide leak, and snuffs the pilot light. Yeah, it's 100% gas exposure. We've been predicting this since, like, we first got on this case. I think that's what it's going to end up shaking out to. Yeah, don't drink gasoline either, but it's also natural gas. It's, I'm pretty sure it's carbon monoxide, or just like a gas leak of some kind. Yeah, don't drink gasoline. It's not for drinking. But that's terrible. Did I read that last line? No, that's fine. That's exactly the same situation as what led to the previous occupant's death. Do not down the rest of this glass. I don't care what's in it. I'm forbidding you to drink whatever you have in your glass. And then there's what happened to Mr. Shamspeare last night when he was mysteriously poisoned. There's clearly more to that incident than can be explained by a curse, though.
Whatever can be the cause of all these strange happenings in Mr. Garrideb's rooms?
It's cum? Alright. Don't drink it. Hey, okay, now we can go to Garrideb's place. Yeah, that's what I said, cum. Waffle drinks cum, everybody. Talks about it all the time. Can't shut up about it, actually. That's just like typical waffle behavior. Isn't that right, Chad? You're with me on this. Yeah, you're a perv who drinks cum. And they drink cum in the hallway. Alright, fair enough. Ah, there he is. Ah, you're here now, Mr. Garrideb. That bully business it is for me, you know. Getting out and about. Are you at the Old Bailey by any chance? It's not a hall, that's an alley.
Naturally, fate of my lodgings hanging in the balance and all that. Not a trial to miss.
Fate of what's already been dubbed your haunted lodgings, yes.
Of course, the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. As the old haunted lodgings or some such.
Ah, well, at least he knows.
Makes you wonder what the places is going on, don't you know?
Yes, I'm sure it does. In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsume's at the trial just 2 days ago. You were at the Old Bailey then as well, weren't you? Testifying with your wife about what happened.
Stopped off at the prison on the way home, in fact. Beastly business.
Oh yes, wife got arrested. I see.
So, what brings you to my haunted abode today, hmm?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do before anything else is present this. Here to explain. Mr. Garrett, could I ask you to look at this photograph? Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Is that your son who's with you there?
Oh, no, not at all. He was a lodger here once. Duncan Ross was his name.
Duncan Ross. That's not... Olive Green. So I guess they're not related? Otherwise they would have the same last name? Well, maybe she married and then she changed her name, but still. I don't know. One of them are adopted? Yeah, despite looking very much identical to each other. One's inexplicably adopted.
A street photographer happened to be passing, so I asked him to take a shot. Just for kicks, really.
Was he by any chance the lodger before Mr. Natsume?
Yes, that's right. Ah, the young gentleman who died in the room in mysterious circumstances. Just what Mr. Mustache was waiting for, one might say. Yes, young Duncan lived in the room at the top of the first flight of stairs before that Japanese chap.
Would you mind telling us a little more about him? Alright. Now we'll go through.
Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? Yes, the house does seem to have become something of a magnet for rum fellows of late. Thanks to that bloody curse.
The convict's curse, you mean?
I heard the stories, have you? Rotten scoundrel was arrested here, then the next chap in the room goes and kills over. And there was that woman who dropped dead just outside on the street, not to mention the actor yesterday. My next day? Well, can't help but get the collywobbles, can you?
When you say the woman who dropped dead outside on the street, do you mean Miss Green?
Because Miss Green, who was stabbed by the knife, and Mr. Shamspear, who was poisoned last night, are both very much alive still.
Yes, well, so is that blasted convict's curse, it seems.
Personally, I should be quite content with such lodgings. A bath, a toilet, a fireplace, a fascinating history. Why, it sounds like the lap of luxury.
I'm not so sure about that.
Well, there's no bath or toilet included, and no fireplace either.
But you do look out for your tenants, don't you? By watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps up here.
Yes, never hurts to keep an eye on things. In case there are any mishaps or such like.
I can shit inside? Wonderful! I think you've had your mishap already, sir.
That's not helpful, Mr. Shums.
Heaven forgive me, the words just came to my lips.
Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed chap of questionable character, eh?
There's no need for that, Mr. Garrett. Hey, just curious, what's the best type of monster girl? Oof, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with... Are we going with just any kind of monster girl? Like Onis? Do Onis count? Or do they have to be more monstrous? Yeah, they do? Then I'm going with Onis.
That's That's right, Mr. Natsume is in no way fishy.
He is undeniably peculiar, however.
Spider-Girl person, also a very good choice. Is it right that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away?
Yes, that's right. I asked the estate agent to find someone and he popped up the very same day. Never come across a chap so keen for a place with a background, as it were.
I don't think it was the room's background he was keen on so much as the cheap rent, actually. If it was a monster boy, I'm really weak to fox boys. Ooh, okay. That's a good choice.
So, how long has Mr. Shamspeare been lodging under your roof?
I would, if at any point you had said cat girls or cat boys, I would have ruthlessly made fun of you because that's a basic bitch choice. But you're good. What can kill me the most conveniently? That's a good question, actually. Alternatively, what does the cock look like? Yeah, mantis girls, that's a good one. They'll kill you pretty fast.
So, how long has Mr. Shamspeare been lodging under your roof?
That fair actor chap? Let me see. Oh, of course. Yes, it's been 3 months now. Quite sure of it.
Only 3 months. It's quite new here too, then.
And to what do you owe your certainty in that regard, Mr. Garrett, if I might ask? Well, it was that Selden scoundrel as it happens.
Selden? The convict, you mean? Do Selden and Shamspeare have some kind of connection, then? Clean kitty litter and then shower? Sounds good, Waffle. See you later.
That convict chap, Sheldon, passed away in the clink 3 months ago now, you see, some malady or other.
Yes, we've seen the report from the newspaper at the time.
Well, it was only 3 days later that the
Tragedian? Like a comedian, but someone who does tragedy?
The tragedy showed his face, the actor fellow.
Really?
Yes, I remember it quite distinctly. 'Tis small this world we inhabit, and prithee, landlord, hear my request. I, the humble Shamspeare, do desire to take thy room on the middle floor, offered erewhile for rent. Terribly sorry and whatnot, but that won't be possible. Already have a lodger on the middle floor. Ground floor room's vacant, though. Nothing can be made out of nothing. Let me repeat what my mind will unto thee. These girls must be muffling their ears. The room on the middle floor is taken. It's ground floor or nothing.
An actor who specializes in tragic roles. Interesting.
Very well, we have an accord.
Glad to hear it. Oops, that scared him.
Lo, a Shamspeare dance to celebrate. From what I heard in court today, sounds like the chap was thieving gas. He was 3 months in arrears with the rent, too. Yes, the fellow was a bully player, all right. Yes, he did indeed fuck. Thank you for your candor, Mr. Garrideb. We are most grateful. By way of appreciation, allow me to say 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe, put on my crown. I have immortal longings in me.
What's happened to you?
Shakespeare, my dear fellow, one of his most famous lines. I wish to divulge my own learning of the subject, for I have a turn for literature too, you know.
Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines, then. Alright.
Yes, Duncan Ross, young chap, was attending art school. Had direct pay for it, mind. Moved into the middle floor room about a year ago after that criminal Selden was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them.
A history of cheap rent, maybe, yes.
Yes, well, anyway, it was one morning about a month ago now. Hadn't quite worked out the old trick of watching the gas lamps to see what my lodgers were up to at the time. Though sadly, I was rather tardy to discover what had happened. Smell of gas that alerted me it was. Ah, yes, synonymous with the smell of death. Called the police straight away, of course, and the officer kicked the door off its hinges. And once we got inside, we all bodily collapsed.
Because of the gas?
Yes, room was full of it. No air at all. Stove must have gone out while the poor chap was sleeping in his bed.
And Mr. Ross suffocated to death.
Once the police gave me a sound ticking off because the gas pipes were so old and all that. Can't tell you how much it set me back to have the lot replaced all over the house.
But even after you had all that work done, Mr. Natsume says the same thing. That the stove goes out at night whilst he's asleep in bed.
Well, that's the bloody curse, the convict's curse. I've done my duty as landlord now.
Someone's feeling defensive. There's more to that.
Ah, that reminds me, actually.
Yes?
About young Duncan, the night before the poor chap perished. He'd been writing a letter of affection to a young lady.
A love letter, you mean?
Yes, where did I put it now? Ah, here it is. Left it on my desk. If you'll excuse me, let me see now. What does it say? My most beautiful and charming sweetheart.
Do you think that we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence?
My dear Susato, that is precisely why I prefaced my reading with, if you'll excuse me.
I will not excuse you, Mr. Sholmes, no.
Sadly, you didn't address it, though. I've no means of delivering the thing. Rather sad, really.
I see, that's going to play on my mind.
But really, the identity of Mr. Ross's sweetheart has no bearing on the case. I think we should leave well alone.
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Indeed, the intended recipient's address is missing. However, there is a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart.
Mr. Sholmes, please, I've already had to chastise you about this once.
My undying love to you, my colorful darling, Olive Green.
Ah!
Olive Green? The woman who was plunged into a coma after a knife plunged into her back outside the house 5 days ago. The victim of the last case Soseki-san was in court for, who regained consciousness only yesterday. Is just chance that her name has come up now? Could it possibly be a mere coincidence?
Mr. Naruhodo, whatever can this mean?
Reading personal correspondence can have its merits, you see, Mr. Susato. Ha 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 ha!
Interesting. Well, I guess we'll give that to Olive. Or do we even have it? No, we don't. Not part of our fucking evidence. Alright, cool. Let's see where we have to go next. Yeah, okay. We do have to go and talk to her. Makes sense.
22nd of February, St. Bartholomew's Hospital recovery.
Mr. Naruhodo, I've just finished speaking with the doctor. It seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged at last.
This is good news, but hopefully, just before she leaves.
Ah!
What is it? Miss Green! Was she about to commit suicide? Oh my god, I think she was. What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back.
One moment, I'll be with you in a jiffy. Oh, hello everyone. What are you all doing here? The doctor has said I can be discharged, so I'm just getting my things together.
Miss Green, what were you just doing?
Oh, nothing, really. I was just about to take some medicine the doctor prescribed for me, that's all.
Well, we were hoping to have another quick chat with you, if that's alright.
I don't really have anything else to tell you.
Alright, she's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can't coax something out of her. I mean, I'm gonna look at this. Oh, excuse me. This is the card that Miss Green was looking at so intently before, isn't it?
Mr. Naruhodo, we shouldn't be peeking at a young woman's private effects.
Right, I should save peeking for gentlemen's effects only.
You mustn't do that either.
And maybe you, Mr. Sato, shouldn't be peeking into a young man's mind either, Okay, what about this? This is the bottle that Miss Green was just about to drink from when we arrived.
Yes, she looked rather preoccupied, didn't she?
Perhaps it's very bitter. I can't stand bitter medicine.
I suppose that could be it.
In fact, whenever a doctor prescribes me a medicine for a number of days, I always take it all at once.
Oh no!
Well, if you have to take something you don't like, it's best to get it all out of the way in one go, isn't it?
Oh dear, and I thought it was Miss Green I should be worrying about at the moment.
Oh, I got an achievement for that. Alright. Or it falls from the table. Alright. Apparently something's gonna happen to this. And drink tea while it's hot, drink all the medicine at once. Just gorge yourself all the time. Wonderful news that you're going to be discharged, Miss Green.
Oh yes, I mean, thank you. Once people are better, the hospital staff don't want them lingering around and wasting space. Not people like me, anyway. So I don't think I should keep anyone waiting. I probably shouldn't stand around and chat.
Certainly doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk, that's for sure. Okay, we'll present the photo, I imagine. Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Ross. You knew him, didn't you? Oh. Ah. Oh no, I'm so sorry. The bottle of medicine fell down when she did.
Oh, Miss Green, are you all right?
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to startle you like that.
No, it's all right. I just wasn't expecting it. But how do you know about Duncan?
Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when we passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter. To you.
It was at the art school. That's where I met Duncan. A year ago now.
So does everyone who goes to the art school just look familiar? Like, they look the same?
I was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day.
And the two of you became romantically involved.
Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married, actually. That's why he decided to move into a cheaper room to save money for the wedding.
And that's what led him to Mr. Garrett.
Yes, he told me he'd found the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then, 1 month ago, that's when it happened.
We're so terribly sorry, Miss Green.
Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose.
Poor Miss Green. She looks desperately sad.
I was starting to think that's just her look. But now I see that she has every reason to feel the universe is against her.
I do hope you won't think I'm being rude, but... Would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to hold you up. Of course, we'll be on our way. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, I should have fucking known.
Surely we're not about to leave? That's quite out of the question.
But, Mr. Sholmes, I didn't realize you were here.
But of course I was, my dear fellow. Watching intently from the shadows as always.
Well, I'll make your presence known next time. Oh, that rat is dead. That rat is dead. It got into the poison, proved it was poison, and subsequently died. Oops.
Mr. Sholmes, what's this about?
Something which occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Sorrow, is this. Why do detectives all insist on such ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it's happened, instead of preventing a case before it happens? That is what sets a great detective apart.
What do you mean?
There is a case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Naruhodo. So let us avert disaster. Let us prevent this case from ever happening. With nothing but careful observation.
Alright.
All the clues you need are set before you. You need only look, and you cannot fail to see.
You can do it, Mr. Naruhodo. I know you can.
You have an ice cream sandwich? Pog! That is absolutely deserving of a pog. Love ice cream sandwiches. Hey, the rat's dead. That mouse seems to be dead. Look. I didn't notice it before, did you?
I think perhaps it drank the medicine that spilled out of the bottle. But that's the bottle that Miss Green was about to drink from when we arrived.
You don't think?
Ah, I see you've come to appreciate the true nature of this scene. That of a tragedy about to take place.
Yes, I think it's falling into place. From a brand called Fat Boy, and I keep misreading it as Femboy. That's a really interesting brand name. The only Fat Boy I know about is the nuke that they dropped on Japan. Why would they choose that name for a brand of ice cream sandwiches? You have Fat Boy Sandies in your freezer too? Oh shit. Makes you really want an ice cream sandwich. Fucking love them. Too much, perhaps. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before is spilt out on the floor, and the poor mouse that drank it has sadly died. If you read too much, you become a fat boy? Don't I know it. Founded in 1925. Wow. Alright. That's a lot older than I expected.
Ah,
I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. It was Little Boy and Fat Man. That's, you're right. I got confused.
Don't worry. I will attend to the mouse presently.
Chucks it out the window.
Miss Green, were you intending to go the same way as that rodent? To take your own life? Ah,
Once we'd left, you would have put it to your lips again, wouldn't you? And taken the poison.
No! Miss Green, please talk to us.
Now can I read this? Definitely feels as though this card must be relevant. I mean, when we first arrived, Miss Green was standing with it in her hand in what can only be described as a very tense atmosphere.
Yes, may very well be related to whatever incident Mr. Sholmes believed was about to happen here. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it.
Okay. Here we go.
10 seconds later, and we would have arrived at a very different scene here. In all probability, we would have not enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green. Actually, in a way, now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight has been lifted.
Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine?
Well, with this being a hospital and all, when the doctor comes to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while, so I snuck this out when he wasn't looking. It conspicuously lacks a label. I wonder what it contains. I'm afraid I don't really know, but I thought if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow.
Oh, please, Miss Green, don't talk of such things.
Well, it seems clear now that it contains poison.
Yes, that poor little mouse is proof of that.
Oh no, oh, it's all my fault. What have I done?
It's a mouse. They're pests. Let them die.
I shall remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection? No, none.
Neither the sender's name or address appear to be written on the envelope of the card.
But the end is missing, and we have the missing end. Do I get Foundry or like 3 Witch from Mercury high grades? Foundry. I mean, if you're gonna plan to run a fucking West Marches server, now is the time. You can get the high grade later when you have money. But Foundry is actively gonna be a thing that you want to use soon.
Neither the sender's name or address appear to be written on the envelope of the card.
Arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in the hospital here.
I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on the Slug and Salad. What an appetizing name! On Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Calibarn makes me feel things, and I'll keep making you feel things when you can get it later. Wait a minute, the 17th of this month? That's the day you were stabbed on Briar Road.
And 5 p.m.
It's precisely the time when the incident occurred. The Slug and Salad, yes, a pub on the northern corner of Briar Road.
Briar Road being the street that Mr. Garredeb's house is on.
Does this mean that...
Yes, I'm sure you've guessed. That day when I was struck in the back by the knife, I was actually on my way to the Slug and Salad.
I don't know if Sholmes is huge or if Green and Susato are tiny. I think Sholmes is just really tall. Because even I think when they've been in the same scene as Gregson, even Gregson's not that tall, so I think he's just like fucking gigantic. He'll never be ballin'.
Goodness.
And that's what you were doing on Briar Road that day.
I'm sorry I didn't say anything before.
I might have to get something to eat. I'm actually kind of hungry. There is leftover pizza that I could quickly heat up. According to the Google, he's 6 feet. Yeah, there you go.
I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. I've told you everything.
Yes, I'm very sorry to have had to drag up such painful memories for you.
No, it's fine.
Miss Green. Please, promise us you won't try to do anything like that again.
Yes, don't worry. Your detective friend is the bottle now anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back and had a close shave with a bottle of poison, and I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. It might sound a little conceited, but, well, that's how all of this has made me feel.
One way of looking at it. Leaving Miss Green and St. Bartholomew's behind, we made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. Eat on stream and become a mukbang streamer.
Well, it would appear we've reached the end of the investigative trail for today.
Yes, it's late.
And, Mr. Naruhodo, did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think?
Details about Mr. Shamspear, Mr. Garredeb's lodgings, convict Selden. There are many facets to this case, and we're yet to see to the heart of it, if you ask me. That's my feeling, anyway.
I can't help wondering about the results of the analysis.
Mr. Natsume's tea, you mean?
Yes, will they have found strychnine in it or not?
Well, I fear that either way, it will be hard to escape the grip of our friend, Mr. Reaper.
Oh dear.
Yes, Beric von Zeeks.
But I wish you every success, of course, and though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour and attend the trial.
Mr. Sholmes, you're going to come?
Indeed, whatever happens, I shall be there, assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning.
Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume's cause until the very end. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people. But away from the razzle-dazzle, down back alleys and bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. Oseki-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here. And so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot, to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow would be a new dawn. For all of us. To be continued. Maybe? Up there it is. I will save my current progress. Alright, well that'll be it for the Great Ace Attorney tonight. As a great place to leave it off. So we're going to stop the recording here. YouTube, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.